Hey, it's Chris Loud. In this warm-up painting demo, I'm going to share a sketchbook prompt that's kind of a sister to my previous art prompt video called The Beginning Square. If you haven't seen that prompt video yet, I'll leave a link in the description so you can check it out after this one. So I found this one to be a little more challenging, but I still enjoy doing it and will definitely use it again. It's another good one to use when you're coming up dry on abstract painting ideas or drawing ideas or mixed media ideas or whatever medium you're using. The prompt is called the N square, although you can use a rectangle as well. The idea behind this prompt is to start making marks and painting with a limited palette of black, white, and one additional color of your choice. And the trick to this one is that one of the last things you need to do in the warm-up before the 15 minutes are up is to add a square or a rectangle. And I'll tell you, that was the part that kind of got me. I was thinking about that at the beginning. As soon as I started putting marks down, I started thinking to myself, where am I going to put this square? And I started getting in my head a little bit, which is exactly the opposite of what these warm-ups are designed to do. So I had to kind of push that out of my mind, and really the key for me was to make sure that I kind of glanced at the timer a few times just to give myself a minute or two to kind of figure that out at the end. I want to show you something really quick that was at the very beginning of this video that you might have missed. And that's this part here where I put down paint with the fine tip applicator and then use a brayer, a mini brayer, to roll over it and make some abstract shapes. It's a great way to make some marks, some somewhat random marks with some of the tools they have. So just thought I'd show that to you again. I've been doing that a little bit more and really creating some interesting shapes. So the colors of acrylic paint that I'm using are Mars Black, Titanium White, and Windsor Blue. You'll see here in a minute that I had a little green, I think it was a green gold next to my Windsor Blue and got that kind of mixed in. But I do paint over that coming up here. The brush I was using for this is a small filbert brush. Also using a silicone paintbrush, a palette knife, a catalyst wedge, the fine tip applicator, and a paper towel to blend and wipe some of the paint away. There's the green I'm talking about, but I'll get that painted over here shortly. And then I'll put all of that in the description if you're interested in seeing any of those tools. I'll have those there for you. And at one point I used some Mod Podge and some homemade collage paper, and that's where I get my squares. And you can see now I'm already starting to think about where am I going to place the square or rectangle, I should say. Am I only going to add one rectangle to this? So I'm already getting to that point where I'm starting to think a little bit how I'm going to end this painting, what I'm going to do. So you can see I'm already starting to fix one of the rectangles down. I played this for a few more minutes after the 15 minutes were up, and I'll show you that at the end as well. I also kind of looked at this piece as two separate paintings, kind of the upper part and the lower part. So I'll show you what those kind of look like split, so you can see what I'm looking at. Kind of at one point I thought about actually cutting this one and playing a little bit more on each piece, but I decided to leave it as is, but I'll show you that. And I'm almost out of pages in my sketchbook, so if you use a sketchbook that you like, let me know in the comments. I'm always looking for tools and tips on what other artists are using. Also, if you find this sketchbook prompt useful or interesting, let me know in the comments as well. That gives me a better idea of which prompts to make videos for. And another way is to give this a thumbs up if you want to do that. But I've really been enjoying doing this prompt and the one before it, the beginning square. Just kind of an interesting way to think about or start and end a piece. So here's the final painting coming up. Well, actually, I guess it's coming up here in a minute. But you'll see on the final painting that I painted over the lower left portion where I painted that green right here. And I'll show you some different orientations as well. And here is the link to the previous, the beginning square prompt, so you can check that out. And I'll also show you the lower half here and the upper half here. So thanks for watching, and keep on painting.